This is from at Lane Dean Kendall.
Yes.
We know Lane Kendall. He interviewed us on Stephen Crowder's show for China's Influence.
Yeah, great interview.
It was a great interview. Lane's a great guy.
Yes.
Turns out he was in, where did he go, up to L.A.?
Yeah, I was in L.A.
Okay.
And he
So you
spotted
went to LA.
CGTN official, Chinese state media, covering the protest.
Yes. And so CGTN was there.
Yes.
Chinese
Remember?
state media, the arm of the propaganda department of China.
Yeah. So,
Kind of interesting.
well, obviously, they want to keep track of their foreign influence operations, make sure it's going smoothly, you know?
Well, I just wanted to say, he
Yeah.
says, I acknowledged to him that it was interesting CGTN was sending reporters and he got super awkward. This certainly doesn't prove anything, but it makes complete sense that China would be invested in these riots spinning out of control. Now, what's interesting is Lane's onto something here. Because as it turns out, there is a heavy hand from the Chinese government
Correct.
in these protests. Now, I also want to say, it doesn't matter where you fall in terms of these protests. You can be a supporter of these protests.
Yes.
You can be against these protests. You can exercise your First Amendment. I don't care, right?
Yes.
That's not what we're talking about today. What we're talking about is China will take any opportunity
To fuel
to
division
fuel division.
in America.
And that's what I have a problem with. Okay, so if we have a look at this is Bin Xie. Okay?
Yes.
What did he say?
They don't pretend anymore. The CCP's top one propaganda machine, People's Daily, is using its WeChat channel to call on the Chinese in America to join the so-called No Kings event.
So the top mouthpiece
People's
of
Daily.
the Communist Party of China's propaganda department
Yes.
is using its WeChat accounts to spread Chinese videos to make sure that the Chinese diaspora in America
Yes.
that use WeChat
Well, I just
consume propaganda.
I just have to preface this, guys.
participate.
I think every single person who has come to America from China gets their news from WeChat. Every single one.
Yeah.
Every single one. If
Yeah.
they were born here, maybe not. But if they came here,
no, yeah, definitely not.
everybody in China relies on WeChat as their Swiss Army knife.
Yep.
They use it to pay their bills. They use it to talk to their friends. They use it to post their moments. It's like every social media app boiled into one. They purchase things. They watch live streams. They do everything. And they get their news from it. Okay, so when you've got a top account posting these things about go and join the, or go and check them out, this is the information, you know?
You can't protest in China.
You're not allowed to. Exactly.
Especially anti-government protests. This is the most hypocritical thing I've ever seen. This is an influence campaign.
Yeah.
China is running an influence campaign from the government.
Yeah, and if you search the No Kings thing on WeChat, hundreds of these posts about this thing is coming up in Chinese, you know, telling you all the details about it. And here's the thing. Some people might look at this and say, oh, that's just for people in China. No, this is for the diaspora. This is where Chinese people abroad get their news.
Yeah.
They get it from WeChat. This is where they find out about the country they're living in. It's a very bizarre situation. They won't look at the local news because, well, there's a language barrier, first of all, okay? But they trust the news coming out of China. They think the Chinese government knows more about the place they're living in than they do. Okay, so they're going to look at this. They've got access to all this information. So it's being spread around. Okay, so that's one side of this. There's another side to this. I mean, here we've also got, this is a WeChat Moments that was sent to me. Again, it's all information about the No Kings protest
Where it's
being
gonna
spread
be,
around.
blah, 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 blah.
And then a link to like where you can go join and that type of thing. So it's being spread massively around the Chinese diaspora is what I'm trying to say. So there's that side of it. And again, I just have to put this out there. This is the kind of thing that's not allowed in China. You're not allowed to protest. You're not allowed to have anything to do with anti-government protests. You will get locked up. But the Chinese government is allowing this to spread because they condone it. And that's the takeaway from it being spread around the diaspora is China has control over what's said on WeChat. They will block anything that they don't like. But if they allow something to spread around, it means they allow it, they condone it, and they like it. So they like this. Let's move on to the next part. This was a long time ago. This 2021. I remember when I saw this, because Li Jingjing is the Chinese CGTN reporter over there.
She's a CCP
Yeah.
agent.
She's a
basically.
CCP agent. She's a what we call a shill wrangler.
Yeah.
In the beginning, when we saw this massive explosion of pro-CCP Westerners, these guys we term white monkeys, they were going around saying, there's no genocide in Xinjiang, that type of thing. They were all attached to her. She would take them, be their minder, be their translator, be their organizer. that type of thing. Okay, and she's heavily involved in Chinese propaganda, Li Jingjing. So when we saw her interviewing Code Pink over here, I remember we were like, this is very suspicious. Okay, if the Chinese top propagandist is now in cahoots with this Code Pink thing, what is it?
Yeah.
Turns out it's one of those sneaky NGOs.
Like an activist group.
Yes. And you can now see there's the same woman that you saw previously.
Yeah.
Okay. Holding up, China's not our enemy. Now, what is isn't it kind of weird that you've got somebody appearing on Chinese state media, by the way, CGTN, linking up with one of China's biggest propagandists, who, by the way, is all about hating America. If you watch Li Jingjing's stuff that she covers, it's always about how bad America is.
She works for the propaganda department of the Chinese government.
And she works for state media. Yeah. So you see them together, and then you see this same person turning up, disrupting Congress, disrupting events, holding up China's not our enemy.
It's like,
You're like, that's a bit too close to home. That's a bit too on the nail, okay? Yeah. So Chinese propaganda is now connected to this particular NGO, at least tangentially, right? Then you find out that the owner of Code Pink, the person who started it up here, is married to a billionaire.
What's her name again?
It's a billionaire socialist. I don't know. Well, we've got it somewhere. Josie, something with a J, I think. Is married to a billionaire socialist who lives in China.
Communist.
Yes, he's a communist socialist. Same thing, isn't it?
No.
So do you take all those ists together?
You got a lot of ists.
And it's that guy.
Okay. He looks like a villain.
He looks like Gru. Mixed with Dr. Evil. Yeah. Anyway, so he works and lives in Shanghai.
Okay.
And he's connected to the Chinese government propaganda.
That's right.
Okay, and he's a billionaire. And
I remember this article in 2023.
Yeah.
This is where I actually put it in the description. It's a good explainer of this whole thing.
Yes, it's good to check it out.
Yeah.
And it turns out that he's now linked, at least one of his organizations that he's funded, has been linked to these current protests that have been happening in LA and that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Okay. So now the
GOP
has launched a probe of...
The House.
Is it?
The House of America.
The House GOP.
The House GOP.
What is GOP?
Grand Old Party.
Oh, is that what it is? Okay. The House Grand Old Party has launched a probe into this guy. It's about time. Okay, isn't it just weird? This guy's married to the owner or the starter of the Code Pink NGO that goes around saying China's not our enemy.
Doing propaganda for China.
Yes, doing propaganda for China, disrupting things on behalf of China, saying China's not our enemy, all that kind of stuff. He happens to be in China. There's his wife, the owner of this, with this China's not our enemy junk.
Very interesting.
And there he is, Neville Roy Singham.
Yeah, I was on that tweet. I put the Twitter account in the description. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's him at an actual CCP meeting.
Yeah, there he is.
Like a high-level CCP meeting.
High-level CCP meeting. So this guy is like, mingling with the top CCP.
Is he American?
I think so. I'm pretty sure he is. He made his money with like doing a tech thing.
Okay. We have that letter. We should read that.
Yeah. Anyway, so can you see how it's all coming together here?
Yes.
You've got Code Pink, who's been tied to Chinese propagandists like Li Jingjing, appeared on Chinese state media, then goes around agitating with China's not our enemy, disrupting things. Yeah. Turns out the owner of Code Pink, the person who started it, is married to this billionaire socialist communist who works and lives in China and works for and with the CCP here, this Neville Roy Singham guy. Loyi, as it says over there. And now the House GOP has launched a probe of China-based. It's like, come on, come up with something better than that. It's linked to protest groups, including anti-ICE agitators in LA.
Yeah. It would make sense, wouldn't it?
Yeah. So the Oversight Committee is to investigate Neville Singham. And this is their official account saying that.
And other GOP members requested information as funding to the PSL, the People's Forum, Answer Coalition, and any other group with ties to the CCP.
And we've requested a briefing. So, we're not going to read this out to you. If you would like, there's links below, but you can also just take a look. But what they've done is they've basically said, listen, we want you to come answer our questions. If you ignores this, then they can take it to the next level.
Gotcha.
You know what I mean? But this
So
is
he has to basically show up in court and be like, yeah, I'm a CCP agent, or yeah, I have nothing to do with this.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a very positive development because
Yeah.
for years now I've been very annoyed at this CodeBink NGO.
Yeah.
Because it always props up.
Right.
And it's tied to the Chinese Communist Party, at least from what I've seen.
Right.
And it's good to see now you got all the signatures of everyone who's like signed off on this. So I'm very excited about this development. Very excited.
That is good.
I have a feeling that this could lead to a lot of information about all the people that work together that have been constantly on the attack on behalf of China against people like us and other dissidents. So I think this could be incredibly positive. So
Yeah,
I'm going to keep a
cutting
close
off
eye.
any sort of source of like foreign meddling from China is great.
Yeah.
I remember you lift my spirit, with you high is all I'm feeling. Remember.
A lot of these videos are torture themed. So what we're gonna do is torture ourselves. So if you knock over the cards, you have to stick your hand in a bowl of ice water.
It's like, oh, but there's a cat. It's like,
What the? It's quite clear, isn't it? This
Yeah.
is horrible.
think of blizzards, the Arctic.
Oh, I didn't torture you.
Turns out that this was actually done by a Japanese animation studio.
Oh, holding your pee in.
Feeder type,
Yeah.
that type of thing. Smelly socks, you
Let
know.
her go home. I'll throw another sus card.
Yeah, you see what I mean? Yeah,
Ooh, boy.
yeah, it's getting somewhere.
When I close my eyes, I can almost see